Hey everybody, it's Masterath here, and welcome to the 2026 Global Trophy. Just a quick thing for the intro and for the European Preliminary League. Unfortunately, Sam's microphone was having a bit of technical problems, so his audio sounds a bit, well, choppy in places. But we've also done other tournaments after that, and it seemed to have sorted itself out in the end. But unfortunately, that means that for the intro and for the European Qualifiers Preliminary League, Sam's audio does sound a bit choppy. So just to let you all know, apologies for the annoyance. But let's get into a new tournament here at the Global Trophy. Here's your intro.
Lift the Global Trophy high. Masterath brings the heat. Sam Elliott on repeat. Whispers of Fernandez creep. Garrow's best completes. Dirty noise loud and clear. Big God conquers fear. Feels like the end is near as England sheds another tear. The time has arrived. Lift the Global Trophy high. Underneath arena lights. Feel formations unify. A world united till we die. Game on! 2026!
And with that, folks, comes a new tournament here at the lineage of the Global Trophy. The 2026 Global Trophy has arrived, the 22nd in the main series of the Global Trophy. And I am Masterath, and I am joined once again by
Sam Elliott 64, and yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, this year's tournament is the last chance to qualify for the Global Trophy.
The Global Trophy Champions.
Champions, exactly.
That's the one.
Yes, the Global Trophy Champion of Champions 2026, the third ever iteration of that tournament. And currently, the lineup's shaping up somewhat. You know, there's going to be some teams that are obviously already there. Teams like your Mexico's, teams like your Netherlands', but there's still places up for grabs down the lower end of the competition. So let's see how things go.
Certainly do on that one. So before we get into the intro for new watchers, this is the intro. We've done this. I think this is the third one we've done. Because I think we started these for the 20th Global Trophy back in 2024, which feels like months ago, but it was actually about 2 years ago.
God, honestly, 2024 was 2 years ago. That makes me feel a little bit sick inside.
Just a bit. Well, we're recording this in August, so it's about a year and a half.
Yeah.
But
even still, though, that's still pretty crazy.
That's still like time's going past too quickly.
It is
way too quickly. But just like last year, we have essentially just a sting for you to tell you about some facts about this tournament and what will be coming up, including stuff about the Champion of Champions as well, our overview. So let's get straight into that. Welcome to the Global Trophy 2026 overview. The 2026 tournament is the 22nd in Global Trophy history and the final tournament leading up to the Champion of Champions next summer. For the Champion of Champions, the 2022 tournament saw Burkina Faso edge out Ghana with 38 points in 4 years to take the 32nd and final spot in the tournament. For the 2026 tournament, 17 teams have already passed that points total, including Nigeria, Croatia, and Scotland. It's not all over yet, so there's all to play for still. This year, the Global Trophy is being held in Mexico as they shocked the world with their first Global Trophy Championship last year. Mexico are the first North American team to win the Global Trophy, and the first non-European team to win the Global Trophy since Brazil's triumph in 2015. Cameroon, Chile, and former Global Trophy champions the Czech Republic have failed to reach the last 3 Global Trophy finals and are in danger of missing out on the upcoming Champion of Champions. Record 4-time Global Trophy champions France have made only 1 final in the last 3 years and are also in danger of missing out. The current champion of champions, Argentina, have one final chance to win the never-before-seen Global Trophy treble this year by being the champion of champions and winning the Global Trophy and their American qualifiers this year. After an amazing fallout of last year's Asian Championship, which saw 3 preliminary league teams in the top 4, Kuwait won their first Asian Championship and are exempt from the preliminary league this year. Woeful England finally made their first Global Trophy finals in 16 years last year. They've never gone back-to-back. Could they do it this year? But all eyes are on Mexico as they look to be the first team since the Netherlands back in 2021 to win back-to-back global trophies. The game is on. So with that, a lot of teams have already made it through to the Global Trophy Champion of Champions. There are a lot of big teams that haven't solidified their qualification as of yet, so this tournament is their last chance to do so. Sam, what did you think of last year's tournament? It was a bit hectic, wasn't it? As usual.
Well, I mean, it was another. Well, we'll get to them later on, but there was another heartbreak for a team that we both particularly root for in this competition. The fact that they didn't win it again, when the opportunity was just so apparent for them. Obviously, I'm referring to Italy. They had such a great opportunity to go and win the whole thing. They never did. Of course, losing finalist Nigeria, we kind of thought we were going to have the first ever African champion. Finally, after 21, attempts at the global trophy, we're going to get our first African winners. Didn't happen. Of course, our shock winners, after I believe a certain Chris Masterath Pruitt at the start of the competition said, "Are Mexico washed?" or along those lines. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it might as well have been that.
I don't use that new age bollocks slang.
Maybe
I believe I said they were on the decline.
Okay, on the decline.
Yeah.
As it turns out, they weren't. They won the whole thing. They've gone one better than they did in 2017, and Mexico are the first ever North American Global Trophy champions.
Yeah.
There you go. What a shocker that was last year. No one expected them to go and turn up the way they did. Mexico, in a shocking twist, becoming, our 4th different champion in 4 years.
Yeah, and the first non-European champion in over a decade. So,
and on YouTube as well, which is another thing to note.
Yeah. Does that mean potentially that the champion of champions, since the last 2 champion of champions winners, the first 2 champion of champions winners are both non-European? Does that mean a European team is going to win the champion of champions since they've relinquished the global trophy for the first time in a decade?
Maybe the curse has been lifted. Maybe they're going to win the other trophy.
It certainly could do on that one, but then of course we had some other shockers as well. The Asian the Asian qualifiers was probably the most chaotic qualifiers we've ever seen.
Yeah, of course we had 2 preliminary qualifiers in the final, didn't we? Which is unbelievable. Only the second time in Global Trophy history has a preliminary qualifying team won the local competition. And in this case, it was Kuwait, wasn't it?
And 3 preliminary qualifiers in the top 4.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. We also had, of course, England finally making it through.
I know. First time in, it was 18 years, wasn't it?
It was a long time. I think it was like 14, 15 years. 2009 was the last one before this.
Yeah, so probably about 15 years. That's crazy. Absolutely. Yeah. And the fact that they of course they played a big team as soon as they got to the round of 8. Of course they did. But England didn't disgrace themselves last year. They actually turned up and did what they expected to do, like win 2 games against sort of lesser opposition in their local qualifiers, and ended up making it into the Global Trophy finals for the first time in, I say, over a decade. So that's kind of ridiculous too.
Certainly is. So, let's get into our, just like we did in the last introduction, we go through our top 30 teams so far in the Global Trophy rankings. So let's kick off. We're not going to kick off with the top 30 though, but we are essentially going to kick off with one of our champions that isn't actually in the top 30. But obviously the Global Trophy rankings for new watchers is pretty much like the FIFA rankings, only it's not based on ELO. It's based off of pretty much how far you go in tournaments. Pretty much. And that's, you got the 4-year one, which we'll do for the Champion of Champions, and then there's this one, which is just of all time. So,
Yeah.
and I
And,
have to
obviously-
update that all the time when we do one of these recordings.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to kind of get a live view of like, who are the informed teams. Obviously, we'll get to those a little bit later on, who are kind of the higher end of the last 4 years, who are already through to the Global Trophy Champion of Champions. But of course, we like to respect those that have been around for quite a long time. Those, the great success stories of the past. Your Frances and well, we'll get to them later on as well. But yes, let's start off with this team here.
Yep, so we'll kick off with not our top 30, but rank number 38. The current Global Trophy Asian Champions for the very first time last year, Kuwait.
Yeah, making it all the way to the Asian section final, beating India, of course, to claim their first honour in 2025, the Asian Championships. Didn't really go to plan when they made it to the Global Trophy finals, but they have a trophy to their name now, which is not something that every team in Asia can say. A team such as, for example, South Korea. They don't have an Asian Championship, do they?
No, they do not have an Asian Championship, so Kuwait has been able to beat South Korea to it. But yeah, they've made round of 16 twice in the Global Trophy finals. But yeah, that's a new thing, by the way, on these stat stings. I thought I'd just put in the furthest run they've had in the Global Trophy finals as well, just so everyone can see sort of like the best run for the teams. But yeah, 31 wins to Kuwait's name, so very low, but yeah, they are the Asian champions, the shocking Asian champions. Can they do 2 in a row?
I don't think so. It'd be a big ask, wouldn't it? I will say one thing. I do want to just clarify. Those Global Trophy match wins, is that including the preliminary qualifiers as well, or is that just for the qualifiers?
Just
onwards?
the qualifiers and the final. It doesn't include the prelims.
That makes more sense then. Okay.
So next up, knocking Ukraine out of the top 30. We have a team that's got back into the top 30 after Ukraine's amazing run to the Global Trophy finals and the top 2 a couple of years back where they lost to Germany. But Ecuador are back in the top 30.
Yeah, of course. A former America's champion back in 2007. Yeah, Ecuador. It's tricky for them because obviously they've dipped out of the rankings for a little bit. The top 30, sorry, I should say. But I think it's kind of tricky for teams like Ecuador, where they are clearly not the powerhouse team of their sort of local qualifiers. There are a lot of strong America's teams, they have to get past. And if they don't get past 2 rounds, then they struggle to accumulate those sort of ranking points, if that makes sense. So, yeah Ecuador
especially
kind of fall victim to that a little bit.
Yeah, especially since they are in the Americas qualifiers, which is, I'd say, arguably the second toughest. The second toughest to get out of.
Yeah, I would agree.
But Ecuador back into the top 30. The best performance is a quarter-final in the Global Trophy Finals back in 2022. So top 8.
Yeah, not a bad little team, Ecuador. As I said, they've got potential to beat teams in quite as we said already. South America's got a very high quality ceiling, but with a good draw, they're a very, very capable team.
Certainly are. Next up, our first team representing Europe. It's the rank number 29, Denmark.
Yeah, former semi-finalists in the Global Trophy. No trophies to their name, and less wins, actually, to note, than Ecuador. But they have been a little bit more consistent over the years. They were also former quarter-finalists in the Global Trophy. And I want to say were they a losing finalist in Europe before as well?
I seem to remember that, actually. Yeah, I seem to remember Denmark being there.
I can't remember. It's been maybe a while ago now. A kind of a similar kind of story to Ecuador, really, where on another day, on their day, they could quite easily pick up a trophy and be an absolute threat to most of the field. But they're not going to be the favourites. Let's say that much.
Certainly not, especially in the toughest qualifier, which is the European qualifiers. So many big names in there. But Denmark is one of those teams that have been able to sneak through on a lot of occasions.
Yeah, absolutely. They're I don't want to say the sensible man's team. Like they're kind of a steady Eddie, if you like. Is that maybe the right way to describe them? Yeah,
they're certainly. Sorry, Ross, but this is true. This team is a dark horse.
They actually are. They have the capability certainly to cause an upset.
Certainly do, and that's the only time I'm going to mention the words dark horse, just to appease Ross. We read all your comments, everyone's.
We do.
Next up, bit of controversy from the last tournament, so we're gonna have to mention this because I am the dumb. Rank 28 is Morocco.
Why are you the dumb, Chris?
I'm the dumb because I didn't put Morocco in the final when we did the final.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think I put Angola in there, or was it? It was some other African team in there when it should have been Morocco. And we recorded the final, and it wasn't until then someone mentioned, oh, by the way, yeah, Morocco should be there instead. And I just thought, oh, oops, we've already recorded the final, and it was a great final. Crap.
Yeah, that's a shame. Well, maybe they could have a revenge arc of all of all revenge arcs. Maybe they can win the whole thing. Morocco, again, they've not won an African title. Not many teams have won an African title. It should be said that the African title has been won by the least amount of different teams. But 46 wins in local qualifiers and global trophy finals is nothing to be sniffed at. A former top 8 placing. They're a good team. Make no mistake, they are a good team.
Certainly a good team. They're not one of the sort of the big 5 in Africa, but they're close. Very close.
I would agree.
Next up, it is rank number 27, representing Asia. It is the UAE.
Yeah, also yet to win a trophy in Asia, but they have been losing finalists on a couple of occasions as well. Former Global Trophy semi-finalists as well. In that amazing 2024 run, they lost out there. Who did they lose to in the semi? I can't. Was it? Who was it? Let me check the list.
Was it the Netherlands potentially?
Did they lose to the Netherlands, who went on to win? Possibly.
It was Netherlands or Italy.
Yeah.
Because that was the final of 2024.
Yeah, maybe it was the Netherlands then. I think so. Maybe. So no disgrace there, obviously. Surprised me that they haven't won an Asian championship yet, though, doesn't it? Like they're again a capable team, one of the better teams in Asia, just never picked up that local qualification trophy.
Yeah, not yet for the UAE, but maybe after, obviously, the current champions are, Kuwait of Asia. Could be a good time for a team like the UAE to go on to win an Asian section. Or Australia can win it again, who knows?
It stinks if an Australia win this year, doesn't it?
Yeah. Next up, over the last couple of years, I don't think there's been any team that's had a bigger purple patch than this team. Rank 26, Croatia.
Yeah, they've gone from an also-ran to a bit of a powerhouse, haven't they? Semi-finalists twice on the bounce in 24 and 25. They have also been former European champions back in 2014. I want to say were they losing finalists either last year or the year before as well?
I mean, they were certainly close on that, yeah.
I can't remember if they were the losing finalists or not. Maybe I'm misremembering someone else. But Croatia are no slouches, and was it the original champion of champions? Was it a top 8 finish for them?
Yes, it was.
So they've since moving to YouTube, really, Croatia have kind of come alive a little bit, and they're now one of the sort of established furniture teams of these are serious competitors. Last season, or last year, if you like, they were the highest placing European team in the entire competition.
Yeah, they were.
So read into that what you will.
Yep, they were. Top 4, the only European team to be in the top 4 last year, which was good for the comments, I guess. They finally got their wish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, rank 25, representing the Americas, 2-time Americas champions, Chile.
Yeah, Chile, former American champion 2011, 2021, so winning a trophy every 10 years. It's not 2031 yet, so I don't think they're going to be winning it this year. Now I've said that.
We'll still be doing it in 2031.
I hope not.
I hope so.
We'll see.
I've got logos for them and everything. I've got a logo up to 2039.
God damn.
Just believe the 35th Global Trophy Tournament.
I'll be in my 40s by then. I don't think I can cope doing it by then.
I'll be 46.
God damn. Yeah, we'll have to negotiate.
I'll be close to a bit of my retirement money. Unless the government screws me over, that is.
Oh dear. Chile, capable team as well. The fact that they've won 2 Americas trophies says all you need to know. Even back when the Americas only used to get 4 qualifiers into the Global Trophy final, it says a lot that they were able to get to the final and get to a few Global Trophy finals as well. I think in 2021 they beat Argentina en route to that title as well, which is no slouches there. On their day, capable of winning against anyone, as we've seen. Have they got the stomach for a glory run to the title? That's the real question.
Well, their last sort of biggest run was 13 years ago, where they made it to the top 8. So it could be, but they do have a big mountain to climb if they're going to want to do that.
Yeah, correct.
Next up, rank 24. I remember when we had this lovely chat last year when I said, "Oh, this team is currently beating their southern neighbors in the Global Trophy." Yeah, that changed, didn't it? It's rank 24, the USA.
Well, they were. The US have been on a bit of a tear lately, haven't they? Yeah. I suppose, I'm sure the current commander-in-chief of the US is very happy with the result of last year's Global Trophy.
He's probably forgotten what it was.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, the US...
Too busy playing golf with Gareth Bale.
Yeah. Or in Scotland.
Bale can make it there, I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose so. The US are a pretty solid team. They've been finalists on a couple of occasions in the last few years in the Americas section. They've not made it to any further than the semi-finals before in the Global Trophy, and that wasn't, that was 16 years ago now. But they are still a pretty, capable team, the USA. Again, are they going to pull up any trees this year? Who knows? They're yet to get a honour to their name, so maybe that's their first aim to go for, really.
Certainly could on that one. They didn't have a good run last year, I believe. I believe they were knocked out in the qualifiers.
Yes, correct.
Last time round. Next up, rank 23, representing Africa. It is Ghana.
Yes, Ghana, of course. We're gonna bring up the old put it in the swear jar, I guess. The giant killers of 20 years ago.
Yeah.
2006, where they went on a glory run where they beat, was it France and Italy, en route to the semi-finals?
Yeah. A brilliant run. Since
then, I think it's fair to say that Ghana's estimation in the African section has kind of gone downhill just a little bit. There are quite a few teams now. Okay, I mentioned earlier that the America section has been won by the least amount of different teams. Within the last 5 years, there have been 4 different winners. None of them have been Ghana.
Yeah, so... I mean, for a team that had such a great run in 2006, there actually really hasn't been too much. I mean, yeah, okay, a couple of Global Trophy Finals appearances here and there, but they haven't gone that far.
No, they haven't. And even then, like they struggle to get out of the qualifiers, as indicated by the fact that they have 44 wins, and they've also made a semi-final in the past, so that they would have won at least 5 that year, so that's almost a tenth of all their wins in 1 year.
Yeah.
Gives you an idea, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, but it's the 20th anniversary of Ghana's legendary giant killing run. Probably one of the greatest runs from a team that didn't win the Global Trophy that year.
Yeah,
could we see a resurgence this year on their 20th year anniversary?
So I hope to see them at least qualify from the African section, because I don't think they've done that for a little bit.
Yeah, it'd certainly be nice to see Ghana back. Next up, rank number 22, representing Asia, the 3-time Asian champions, China.
Yeah, the People's Republic of China. Winning 3 Asian championships, 2009, 2011, 2019. Former quarterfinalists as recently as last year. That was their best ever run in Global Trophy history. So, again, more happiness for the Commander-in-Chief of the USA. China are a strange team. They're a strange team in that they've won quite a lot of Asian championships, and won since Australia have been in the Asian Championship as well, which says they've got quality. I don't know, but they're not the big dog, are they, of Asian football? And I do wonder whether that kind of there's a bit of pressure on them to maybe improve, because again, they've not won a trophy now in 6 years. Okay, granted, not every team in Asia have won a trophy, but when teams like Kuwait are winning, championships, why aren't China?
Yeah, certainly when it comes to that. I mean, if you look at their match wins, 49 is not too bad.
No, it's not. It's not.
The majority of them are probably in the Asian qualifiers. China do qualify quite often. But it's not... Yeah, they've gotten 3 championships, but it is, I'd say, arguably the weakest continent.
Yeah, I would agree. It is, but at the same time, the kind of relative competition to them is kind of probably about right. But at the same time, the fact that they've got 49 wins and they've won 3 Asian championships, which was it 5 wins for a tournament win?
Yeah, so that's
Or 4
15
wins?
immediately, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a third of their wins have come in 3 years.
Mm.
And then for
least.
the other 19 years,
Mm.
you've got 2/3 of wins. It kind of shows that when they're good, they're great, but they're very inconsistent. China.
Certainly are, certainly are. Next up, our first of many Global Trophy champions at rank number 21, the Czech Republic.
Yeah, the absolute darling fairy tale story of 2022, where they beat Brazil, I believe, in the final. Yep. Global Trophy champions in 2022. No one saw it coming, did they? It was just the ultimate fairy tale run, by far and away the. I don't want to be disrespectful, the weakest team to win the Global Trophy.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely say so. Yeah.
But yeah, the Czech Republic or Czechia, however you want to describe them these days, the fact that they got 36 wins in all time, so that's less than China, significantly less than China in their career. I think they were also losing European finalists in 2022 as well, if I seem to remember off the top of my head. I also think they pre-qualifiers as well a few years ago.
They did pre-qualify, but I think it was one of the first few pre-qualifiers on that. I will say on this one, they are quite close to that pre-qualifier section again, but they're not in it this year.
Yeah, so if results go against them, they could end up in that pre-qualifying section, which we don't want to see a champion down there, do we? Let's face it. But
they could be the first ever Global Trophy champion to have to pre-qualify.
Which is a ridiculous thing to think about, isn't it? The fact that they have had such storied success. They've won 2 trophies, which is incredible. They've won a European Championship, which is I think by far and away the hardest competition to win.
Yeah. They beat France in the final as well.
I know they did. The first ever championship won on YouTube.
Yeah,
was won by Czech Republic. So there you go.
And they were also in the 2022 Champion of Champions. They were top 8 as well.
They were. Another, they have the capability. It's frustrating to me that they've only won 36 games, but with Europe, it's such a luck of the draw thing. If you just get a horrendous draw right out of the gate, and Czech Republic, like I said, they're a good team, but they're not incredible. If you get a France, a Spain, an Italy first game, that's your season over. You get no wins to your name. That's probably why their win rate is only at 36.
Certainly is. I think, didn't they beat England to go to, in the, they knocked out England in the qualifiers the year they won the Global Trophy, I think.
I think so. That sounds about right. That's very England, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe, didn't I? I think if I remember what I said, the match came up and I just went, don't do it again. It showed up, England lost on penalties, and I just shouted the word, damn it.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, and you were just in stitches just going, it's on penalties as well.
Oh no, it was just so typical. But the thing is as well, when England went on a bit of a run where whoever beat England in the qualifiers went on to win the championship, didn't they? I think the Netherlands did it. Obviously, Czech Republic did it. Portugal did it as well.
Bit of previous Masterath lore, I guess, is that probably that would make England the Global Trophy's Diamond Storm, right?
Yeah, that's a throwback, isn't it?
That's a throwback, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we move on to our top 20, and we kick off with Iran, 3-time Asian champions.
Yep, they won the Asian Championship in 2005, 2013, 2020. Former quarter-finalists in the Global Trophy as well, which is a pretty decent effort from them, to be honest with you. The fact that they did it, in the era before where, it was, so there was less America's teams and there was 4 Oceania teams. I suppose it's probably a little bit easier, but 53 wins all told, 3 championships, 1 since Australia have joined the competition as well. One of the most successful Asian teams in terms of just number of trophies. They're a good team around.
Yeah, I believe the highest amount of match wins that we've seen so far in these rankings.
Yep, breaking into the 50s.
Yep, but certainly won't be the biggest. We'll get to the rest of them later. But yeah, good team, Iran. Very good team. Next up, rank number 19, it's South Korea.
Oh, the darlings of 2016, of course. Losing finalists of that competition to Spain. 42 Global Trophy wins. I think everyone kind of roots for South Korea to do well, don't they? They're a popular little team. But they have yet to win a trophy. They've never won an Asian section. Kind of the fact that some of the teams that have won several and they've never won one.
Yeah, certainly when it comes to South Korea, they are certainly a team to look out for. Obviously, last year they did make it back to the Global Trophy Finals for the first time in a while, but were knocked out very early.
Yeah, they were. They didn't quite manage to summon the spirit of 2016. Maybe, 10 years on since that run, we've talked about Ghana's 20-year anniversary of their glory run. Maybe it's time for South Korea to have a rekindling of theirs.
Certainly could do on that one. Next up, we are going to go to our... Let me just check. I think it's, our big five in Africa. So we kick off with the Ivory Coast at rank 18.
Yep, won a African trophy to their name. I think it's fair to say that they probably deserve more over the years. 58 wins all told in their careers. Last year, of course, making it to the quarterfinals of the Global Trophy proper as well. Their joint best run to make it to that stage. They've always been overshadowed by, Senegal, Cameroon, Nigeria in the past, but the fact they did finally manage to win an African championship 2 years ago now in 2024, I think was a justified thing to happen in my mind.
It was certainly a redemption moment for the Ivory Coast from getting so close so many times.
Yeah, I think they've probably been losing finalists the most amount of times. It's crazy. They are such a good team. The fact they just kept getting drew against, Nigeria and Cameroon, the two big powerhouses of Africa for years and years and years, and they finally got an opportunity to win one. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Great to see for the Ivory Coast, and top 8 last year. So could they do that again? I think it's certainly possible.
Form,
for the
isn't
Ivory
it?
Coast.
They've got a little bit of form going on, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean African champions 1 year, next year top 8. So it's a good team on form. Ivory Coast certainly. Next up, rank 17, also representing Africa. It's South Africa.
Yep, the winners of the 2021 African section and 3-time semi-finalist of the Global Trophy proper, which is no mean feat. Twice back-to-back as well, which is, nuts to think about.
3 and 4 years as well.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Great consistency, great little purple patch for them. 50 wins all told as well for South Africa. I think it's fair to say, though, South Africa, despite winning their African championship before Ivory Coast did... Would it be fair to say that Ivory Coast are probably the favoured team over South Africa?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say South Africa is certainly more, under the radar.
Yeah, I would agree.
When it comes to that. But yeah, rank 17, so they are above Ivory Coast, but they are certainly behind the other big teams, the other big 3 left from Africa. But a good team, 3-time semi-finalists. Can they make it 4 this year, or maybe even further? You never know. Maybe they could... do what Nigeria did last year, but we'll get to Nigeria, well...
Much later.
Much later, yeah. They're much higher than rank 17. Next up, rank 16, representing Asia, 3-time Asian champions, Japan.
Yeah, Japan, one of the strongest Asian teams out there, as indicated by the fact they've won 3 Asian championships, 2008, 2021, 2023, so 2 since Australia have been in the section. Obviously one before that. Quarterfinalists in 2019 in the Global Trophy proper, and 63 wins in total. It's not bad going, is it?
Yep, first team on this on these stat stings to have over 60 wins, I believe. So, yeah, good team for Japan. And Japan's probably best run, I think, was around the 2018 to 2022 era, because I believe they were top 10 in the Champion of Champions when it comes to the actual seedings. I think they were ranked 8th.
Coefficient sort of thing.
Yeah, they were ranked 8th.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. They had a pretty consistent run of form. I think they probably will qualify for the championship again for 26, but we'll have to confirm that a little bit later on to see how the rankings are looking. Certainly
will on that one. Going from a team that we're quite certain will probably be in the Champion of Champions to a team that we definitely don't know. It's Saudi Arabia, ranked number 15.
Yep, 4-time Asian champions, 2006, 12, 14, and 15. Note, none of those have come since Australia have joined the Asian section, I believe. I think they joined the year after 2016, and obviously we've been winning since then. 4 championship wins to their name, 59 wins, so less wins than Japan all told. And it's a strange one because they in 2020 they had their sort of their greatest moment. They made it all the way to the semi-finals. They beat 2-time champions now, Germany to get to the semi-finals of the Global Trophy. They lost it in the semi-finals there. But man, what's happened to Saudi Arabia? What's going on? What's going on?
I mean, their Champion of Champions run has been just as bad. Both in 2018 and 2022, they were knocked out in the group stages, finishing 5th both times. And
so just missing out both times is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, and for the 2026 tournament coming up in the summer, they're looking worse. To be honest, they've not done well over the last 3 years whatsoever. This is their last chance to try and get into the Champion of Champions, and they need a big run.
Yeah, they do. I think if they can win the Asian section, it should be enough. But it's a big if, and obviously they need to kind of have a decent enough. If they don't win it, they need to have a decent enough showing in the Global Trophy proper. But pressure's on for Saudi Arabia if they want to participate for a 3rd Global Trophy Champion of Champions.
Certainly do. Pressure is on Saudi Arabia. Next up, ranked number 14 is Senegal, the reigning African champions.
Yeah, they've won 2 in 3 years, which is no mean feat. 5 African championships all told, 2008, 10, 18, 23 and 25. Former semi-finalists in the Global Trophy finals as well. I think former quarter-finalists in recent years as well. They've been a bit of a dark horse. There you go, Ross. In the Global Trophy finals as of late as well. They've been a bit of a bogey team for some years. I think they beat Brazil a couple of years ago.
They did, yeah. That's how they made it to the quarterfinals a couple of years ago. They beat Brazil in round 2.
Which is, crazy to think about. 63 wins to their name as well, ranked 14 overall. A good team. And I think we kind of said a couple of years ago now I think maybe it was last year when they won their 5th. They're now tied on Global Trophy African Championships with Cameroon, which is,
Yeah, joint second.
Quite the thing to think about, isn't it? Because Cameroon were on 5. When were they on 5? They won their 5th in 2014 when Senegal only had 2.
Yeah.
Since then, Cameroon won 0.
And Senegal have won 3. Yeah, it's all a changing of the guard, really, between those two.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Certainly, but yep, our current African champion, Senegal. So that's 2 of our champions down. We still have, obviously, 3 to go, including our Global Trophy champions. This one is not one of them, but it's the good old CC at rank number 13. It's Colombia.
Yeah, Colombia consistency. Look how many match wins as well.
Nice.
That is so nice. That is very nice.
Dirty nice.
Colombia ranked 13, unlucky for some, but they've never won a trophy. Which is, I think they are the highest ranked teams to not win an honor. Is that correct?
Yes, they are the highest ranked team to have never won a trophy.
That's crazy. And why is that? Because they are so consistent. They've won 69 times in, 20 odd years. They more often than not make the finals, but they don't really get that far in the finals. I would love them to win a trophy one day, Colombia, because I think they deserve at least one. They are in one of the most difficult qualifying sections of them all, so that's probably why they haven't won a trophy yet. But when they get to the finals, they always do quite well. Colombia, they're difficult to beat. Their best run in Global Trophy finals, as you can see, is from the inaugural trophy back in 2005. Yep. So, they need to rekindle some of that form. But they're always a difficult team to beat, and they're always there or thereabouts. So I'm intrigued to see how Colombia get on once again this time around.
Yeah, I mean, they did hit a purple patch. I think it was 3 years in a row they were top 8 in the Global Trophy as well, which has certainly allowed them to boost up that rankings. To stay number... Well, I think they were number 12 last time around, but that's because a certain team did better. But we'll get to them in a bit.
Yes, they did.
Next up, ranked number 12, it's Australia. Look at all those.
Yeah, Struth. 16 championships they've won. I believe they are still the most honoured team. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Just about.
Barely, by 1.
73 wins to their name. They won every single Oceania championship there ever was. 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. They then went into Asia because the rankings, the Oceania competition, whilst it was fun, it was just a cakewalk for Australia, wasn't it? Let's face it.
Working with 4 continents for a tournament is a lot easier than working with 5.
Correct. Yes. They went to Asia, and then they won that 3 years in a row as well. They won it in 2016, 17, 18. Lost, of course, infamously to Jordan, their first ever local competition loss. And since then, they've been a bit patchy, haven't they? They finished, they've won 2 championships since then, 2022, 2024, but they've not been the winning machine that we're used to seeing from Australia.
Certainly when it comes to that. I mean, they were undefeated for 14 years in local competitions.
Yeah.
And then they've only won 2 since 2018.
Which is crazy, right? So they've won 2 in 8, basically. Yeah. So that's kind of ridiculous, really. They've never also made it past the round of 16 in God knows how many attempts they've had at this, but they've made it there 8 times, never further than the round of 16, which is unbelievable. Is it misfortune? Is it just they won so easily? But the thing is, they clearly are capable because they've won Asian championships by the bucket load. They are the most successful Asian team in history, despite only being in the competition for 10 years, right?
Yep.
And they've won 50% of all the Asian championships that they've participated in, which is a great strike rate. But teams like Saudi Arabia and the UAE have made it to the semi-finals, and Australia have never made it past the round of 16. That's crazy to me.
They've gotten, well, I can remember on a couple of occasions, I think they've gone up against teams like Germany, the USA, and Argentina in round of 16s, and it's been very close. I think they've lost by like maybe 1 goal in those, but that's 3 of their round of 16 dropouts. So, yeah, on occasions, it's more than likely they'd go up against a good team, just a team better on that. So,
yeah.
Quite bad luck on Australia's side, but maybe this year is the year they make the top 8. They didn't have a good last year, though.
No, they didn't.
Yep, so out again for Australia last year, but this time they're looking to bounce right back into the Global Trophy finals in this tournament. Maybe get the 6th one, just so there can be a bit of air between Australia and Saudi Arabia.
I was going to say, the thing is they've won 5, and then I think is it Saudi have won 4.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia have won 4, Iran's won 3, China's won 3.
Japan's won 3.
Japan's won 3, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. So Australia, if they win this year's one, they will be officially the most successful Asian team by a clear 2 trophies.
Yeah, and well, depends on how Argentina do, I guess, but if they fail and Australia win, could be the most successful, the team with the most championships by 2 clear trophies. Yeah, 16 titles to Australia's name so far. Now, all rise for rank number 11, the new Global Trophy champions, Mexico.
Yeah, of course. Former runners-up of the Global Trophy as well, and back in 2017, the first ever Global Trophy on YouTube. I mean, what a story it was last year. As we said earlier, we kind of thought maybe their powers are waning a little bit. We've not seen a Mexico run like that in quite a while, when it used to happen fairly regular. But no, 2025 Global Trophy champions, the first ever North American Global Trophy champions. Was their second honor, of course. They were former America's champions back in 2013. Yeah, great stuff from Mexico. Let's see how they cope with the extra pressure of being the current champs.
Yeah, usually like when a team wins the title for the first time, they have a good second time round. Unless you're Netherlands or Portugal, of course, where you just absolutely win again. But at least you either have a great run or you get knocked out early. And I'm worried when it comes to Mexico, which one it's going to be.
Yeah, they're very, very topsy-turvy team, aren't they?
Very inconsistent. So now we make it into our top 10, and we kick off with another Global Trophy champion, 2-time Global Trophy champions, Germany.
For a long time considered the weakest Global Trophy champion, weren't they? When they won in 2013. Well, yeah, but even then, they were, Czech Republic had been up there and, competing. They'd also already won a European section. Germany hadn't done that until 2022. They won their first one. Obviously, they won the Global Trophy Championship outright in 2023. I want to say, were they losing runners-up again in Europe in 2024? Maybe?
Yes. Netherlands beat Germany in the European qualifiers finals in 2024, yeah. Because that's the year that Netherlands went on to win the local and the global trophy.
Yeah, they went unbeaten, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Germany for a while, they were considered a little bit of a weaker team, but in the last couple of years, Germany have really established themselves as a bit of a force in the global trophy once again.
Yeah, they've been fairly decent of Germany since the European Championship in 2022. Of course, winning in 2023, the biggest drought between global trophy championships, eclipsing France's record of 8 years between 2009 and 2017 for their
10-year gap
win.
between their two trophies, which is kind of ridiculous.
And 10 years for Germany. Also, the holders of the record for the biggest win in a global trophy final.
Yes. Crazy.
Yeah. Beating Ukraine 6-0 in the finals to win their second global trophy and stay in the top 10. They're still in the top 10 for now, but, well, that could change. You never know who's going to win the next one.
Yeah, that's very. It's such a lottery these days, and Germany, they have the capability of doing so well, but you just don't know with them, aren't they? They're a little bit of a funny team that a couple of years ago they just weren't qualifying for the finals at all, were they?
Yeah. It's an odd one, Germany. They could certainly go all the way. They've obviously proved that twice. But yeah, 59 wins for a team that's won 2 global trophies is not that high.
Quite low. It is quite low. Yeah.
It is quite low. In fact, Mexico have gotten more wins than Germany by 1.
Yep. Crazy.
Okay, next up, speaking of a team that's got to be wary about missing out on that top 10 next time round, because this team has really underperformed. It's ranked 9, Cameroon.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying earlier, weren't we, about how Senegal have now won the same amount of trophies as Cameroon. Cameroon have not won a African section since 2014, so 12 years ago now. Former runners-up of the Global Trophy on 2 occasions. They matched their sort of African rivals, Nigeria. 73 wins as well, nothing to be sniffed at, but a lot of those came in the earlier years of the Global Trophy. These days, we've not seen a big Cameroon performance for a minute, have we?
Certainly, when it comes to that. Cameroon has been one of those teams that have failed to make it to the Global Trophy finals in the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. The fact that we might not see them in the Champion of Champions for next year is kind of criminal in my mind, but
yeah,
they've been poor. They've been
very poor. And, well, again, just like Saudi Arabia, they need a big run this year. Huge run. Next up, rank number 8. The first ever back-to-back Global Trophy champions, Portugal.
Yeah, that was a historical moment, wasn't it? They won an obscene purple patch where they won 2 trophies back-to-back. I think they lost in the round of 16 and then came back and were runners-up again.
They lost in round 1 in 2020. That was the one where they lost to Scotland in the European qualifiers.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, bounced right back in 2021 to finish runner-up. So if they'd won that tournament, they'd have won 3 trophies in 4 years, beating at the time France's record, what is now France and the Netherlands' record of 3 and 5.
Yep. Portugal are no slouches, obviously. Since moving on to YouTube, I think they've been one of the form teams in this, competition. The fact that they're now rank 8, kind of solidifies that. 66 wins in their career, so not as many as some of the teams have. But it just indicates just how good they've been since 2018. Before that, their best competition run was a quarter-final. So they did kind of awaken a bit of a beast, didn't they? Back at the start of this.
Certainly did. They were under the radar for a long time, but now Portugal are one of the teams you got to worry about in this tournament. Next up, rank number 7. They've dropped another spot, folks. For a while, they were in the top 5, but they dropped a spot last year. They've dropped another spot this year. It's rank 7, Spain.
Yeah, Spain, of course, even less wins than Portugal there with 63. 3-time Global Trophy champions in 2006, 11 and 16. Couldn't quite manage it in 2021, although they were the most recent Global Trophy Champion of Champions runner-up as well back in 2022. They're an alright team, but the fact that they've won 3 global trophies in my mind kind of flatters their ability a little bit in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year Spain made it to the Global Trophy Finals, and I think it was their 10th appearance in the Global Trophy Finals.
Yeah, so the fact that they've won 3 and 9 before that is kind of ridiculous, isn't it, really?
But then, it's they made it to the finals 9 times at that time, but there'd been, 20 tournaments.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a very strange one for Spain, but Spain certainly could be a team to win this. Obviously, this is the 10-year anniversary since they last won the Global Trophy.
Yeah, back in 2016, of course, they beat South Korea, mentioned in the final. Yeah, mental.
Yep, but 63 wins to their name. Get ready to see those wins rocket up for our rank number 6. It's the Global Trophy runners-up, Nigeria.
Yeah, what a shame for them. Last year, I thought it was going to be their year. I really did. I thought they'd done so well to get all the way to the final, but for the second time in their careers, they were runners-up in the Global Trophy finals. Of course, former Global Trophy Champion of Champions runners-up as well, losing to Brazil in 2018. African champion 7 times, the most successful African team by a wide margin, although not as wide as it could have been. They were looking for their 8th title for a while now. Not won an African section for 5 years, which is their biggest sort of drought, joint biggest drought now since 2006, 2011. So yeah,
but they have made it to they have made it to multiple finals though, multiple African finals. But yeah, haven't won one. I think they were they runners up last year, and I think they were also runners up to Ivory Coast as well.
Yeah, they've been losing. I think they had the double, didn't they, last year?
Yeah.
They were losing finalists in both competitions, the African section and the Global Trophy final as well. So they're also 1 win away from breaking their ton, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. That meant that essentially their loss to Mexico, if they'd beaten Mexico, they'd have been the 2nd team in Global Trophy history to have recorded 100 wins.
But they haven't done it yet. So 1 more win on the board for Nigeria. It will get it, but we'll make a note of that, of course, should it happen this time around.
Depending on how things go in a certain qualifier, as that goes first, Nigeria are probably going to be the 3rd team to get 100 wins.
Yeah.
We'll get to them later, though. Next up, rank 5. It's, well, the team of the 2020s, to be honest. It's the Netherlands.
Yeah. What a team they've been as well. 2 unbeaten competitions in 2020 and 2024. Global Trophy champions back-to-back in 2020 and 2021. What a team this is. They've rocketed up the rankings. Years 3 times level with Argentina, Spain. Probably one of the favourites to win the whole thing, aren't they, surely, again this year?
Yeah, I'd say so. Definitely. Definitely one of the big teams, Netherlands. Yeah, they equaled France. It took them 5 years to get 3 global trophies. Same as France, obviously, in their dominant run in the 2000s, from 2005 to 2009. But yeah, Netherlands, a very good team, very strong team. They were ranked number 1 for the 2022 Champion of Champions. And in the 2026 Champion of Champions, they're up there in the top 3. So a good performance, a better performance than some of their rivals, could see them as rank 1 again for the next tournaments. Never know.
Yeah, it says a lot, really, doesn't it? The level of consistency that they've had has just been absolutely obscene in the last few years. That we talked about purple patch teams. This is one currently kind of, well, last year didn't go too well, but in recent years they've been the guys, haven't they? So let's see if they.
Yep, they've been the big fish. And, well, it's going to be interesting to see how this year goes. Remember, it was, what was it? So it's 12 years is the record from going from 0 global trophies to 4, which is obviously held by the record and only 4-time winners, France. Netherlands currently are on number 7. So they could win it this year.
They've got a while, yeah. They've got a while.
Certainly do. Next up is rank number 4. It's Italy.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
The outright, though, most amount of European championships.
I'm just going to say, they are the outright European, championship holders. The fact that they've been runner-up 4 times. And you have to think, who they've lost to in those years as well. So in 2007, of course, they lost to France in the final. No disgrace there. A lot of teams lose to France. They're a good team.
Especially during their greatest run as well. Their greatest sort of couple of years. So, yeah, no fault there.
No, Argentina in 2012. Again, we'll get to them in a second. A very good team. You got to think they're going to be, always there or thereabouts. No, nothing wrong with that.
I think at the start of their purple patch as well.
Yep. 2018, they lost to Portugal in the final. At the time, Portugal were a bit of a nothing team. Obviously now, with reflection, Portugal were on a bit of a purple patch themselves, so can't really hate it. And then 2024, we've just talked about the Netherlands. That was who they lost to in 2024. So they always seem to kind of hit teams at their peak, don't they? It's a bit of a shame. They've never really had that. They've never got it across the line. They've never won the global trophy. 7 European titles, the most out of anyone. Yet, they've never been able to hoist the big one. Can they do it this year?
Also, that's what I mean by Nigeria might be the third, because essentially if Italy qualify for the Global Trophy Finals this year, since the European Championship or the European qualifiers starts before the African one, then Italy will be on 100 wins. All they need... Well, actually, no. They need to make it the semi-final
spot.
Yeah,
they need to get a semi-final spot at least, which, could be, fairly feasible. They are the European champions after all, so you'd expect them to go into this with a bit of confidence. But, yeah, I think... Would they rather have the 100 wins, or would they rather have that first Global Trophy Championship?
Oh, they definitely want the title first. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely for Italy. Now we get to our top 3, and we kick off with rank number 3. It's the current America's champions, Brazil.
Yeah, they also could hit 100 wins this year as well, which is quite something. Two-time Global Trophy champions back in 2010 and 15, so 11 years since their last Global Trophy Championship. It was also, back-to-back America's championships for them as well. They've only won 5 relative to Argentina's 9. I think it's 9. I'm just going to double check. Maybe it's 10 now.
They've got 11, I think.
Okay, that's it. They won the 10, and he's like, okay, well, Argentina are going to just win their third in a row, because they've never won 3 in a row, Argentina.
Yeah, no Brazil, American team has won the America's qualifiers 3 in a row.
Now, of course, Argentina are the big fish in the Americas. If Brazil were to win 3 in a row before Argentina, I think that could be a big statement of intent. If they win this year, they could do it. Puts them on, 2024, 25, 26. It would be a big statement of intent. Of course, they were also the team to win the Champion of Champions before Argentina. So, kind of sticking it to them a little bit.
Yep, back in 2018. And if they do win the America's Championship this year, they'll stick it to Argentina to stop them from doing something unprecedented in the Global Trophy. But we'll get to that when we get to Argentina. They're not now, though, because, of course, rank number 2 is going to be our 4-time champions, France.
No, that's true. The French can also hit that magical 100 win with a very good run. I think they need to make at least both finals, I think, is to get to that 100.
Or they could win essentially, they could also sort of win the tournament, but make it the semi-finals of the last one as well. So, yeah, there's multiple ways for France to do that, but they need a good run. And France have been very, very mediocre over the last 3 years.
By their very high standards, yes. They've been a bit flaky, of course. 4-time Global Trophy champions, 2005, the inaugural championship, 2007, 2009, and of course the first YouTube championship back in 2017 now. But that was not been the smoothest of runs. They've been runners-up on 2 occasions as well, in 2010 and 2020, so no slouches there. European champions on 6 occasions, but last year, they were, for the first time ever, they were overtaken as not the most successful European team in Europe, and that is now France. Oh, sorry, that is now Italy, sorry. This is France.
Yeah, and they also hold a record with our rank number 1 for the most amount of top 2 placements in the Global Trophy Finals, with 6.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to me to think that Italy's only 1 behind that. Like 2 behind that.
That's true, yeah, and they haven't even bloody won one yet.
Oh, Italy, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well, we got to go to our number 1. They're like forever number 1, pretty much at this point.
They need to collapse over the next 5 years for them to not be a number 1. Basically,
they need to capitulate massively, and to be honest, they haven't done great by their standards. But then, it's still been okay for them. It's just that France have done worse. It's rank number 1. It's the Champion of Champions, Argentina.
Yeah, look at all those honours as well. I think what Chris was going to mention was if Argentina don't win the America's title this year, they will not overtake Australia for most honours. Obviously, Australia are on 16, Argentina are on 15 currently. They've won the Global Trophy Championship 3 times, 2008, 2012, 2014. America's champions on 11 occasions, which is ridiculous strike rate. But as I said earlier, they've never won 3 in a row. They'll be hoping to stop Brazil from doing that feat before them this year.
Yep. So 3 things I want to mention, of course. 127 wins, 28 wins ahead of any of Nigeria, who are the team with the second most amount of wins with 99.
Yeah, that's correct. So basically, they could just not play for the next 3 years, and they still wouldn't get overtaken.
Pretty much, unless Nigeria wins 3 in a row or gets close to winning 3 in a row.
Three perfect global trophies back to back. That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, just probably Argentina's run in the mid 2010s is probably one of the greatest runs in global trophy history. Not only did they win 3 of the Americas titles in that time, but they finished in the top 2 in the global trophy finals 4 years in a row.
Yeah. 2012, 13, 14, and 15. And of course, they also got a runners-up spot in 2019 as well. So in the space of 10 years, even less than that, really, but in the space, let's just call it 10 years, they were in the final 50% of the time.
Yeah. A nuts
Which is a ridiculous strike rate.
That's why they're number 1.
It's true. And as well as that, you have to think every time that Argentina qualify for the finals, they make the top 8 every single time.
That as well. It's the consistency of Argentina to make it to that top 8 if they do qualify for the Global Trophy Finals. One last thing, though, as well, is that one thing that Brazil will certainly want to stop Argentina on is that this is Argentina's final chance to win essentially all 3 big trophies in the space of 1 year. They are obviously the current champion of champions, but they can also win the Americas title and the global trophy and hold them all at the same time. No team has ever done that.
Yeah, it'd be quite the honour, wouldn't it? I mean, as you say, no one's ever done that before. Teams have come close. Argentina have come close a couple of times as well.
Brazil have come close.
Yeah, so it'd be a massive thing to accomplish. If they could do it this year, it'd be unbelievable and unprecedented, especially going into a champion of champions year. What would be more special for them, do you reckon? Do you reckon it would be, winning the final this year, or do you reckon, and then kind of retaining the champion of champions and winning it again, kind of do the whole thing like that? Win all three in 2026.
Yeah, I think winning all 3 just because that's something that has never happened in the global trophy. That's completely unprecedented. But I think that I don't know. Is Argentina just not as good as what they once were?
It's hard to say, really, isn't it? Because they've not won a America section in 2 years now. But you can never write them out, can you? You can never do it because they'll just turn up and they'll just be unbelievable again.
Yeah,
it happened. If you look here, in 2019, they almost went perfect. They lost in the final to Portugal. It was almost inevitable. They went a couple of years without winning anything, and then in 2019 they suddenly turned up again, and it just didn't quite happen. So, it's been a couple of years since they've won anything. Maybe this year it can be, the everything for Argentina.
But then there's things like 2022. They won the Champion of Champions. They were the America's champions. Didn't win the trophy, though. Top 8, but didn't win the trophy. That was their closest chance.
Yeah. Who knows?
Same with 2023, actually, as well. So they had 2 cracks at it. But yeah, last couple of years, they haven't been great. They made it last year, but then obviously the year before, amazingly knocked out by Paraguay in the round of 16.
Yeah, it's tricky with Argentina because their standard and their kind of expectations is so high because they are the best team. Let's not make any mistakes here. They've won 30 matches more than everyone else, right? And the expectation's got to be that they've got to at least make a semi-final, and they haven't been for the last few years. So maybe it's time for a resurgence from Argentina, or questions will start to be asked if their sort of superiority is kind of in question.
Certainly do on that one. So those are our top 30 teams. Sam, who are you picking for this year?
God damn.
So tough these days, isn't it, to pick a winner?
It is. There's so many teams that could do it. Let me think. This might be really boring. This might be really, really boring. I think Argentina are going to do it this year.
Oh, okay. Good shout on that one.
I know it's kind of the obvious answer because they're just the best team, but it's been a minute. They've not really done much for a while, and I think that when that happens, they do just kind of appear out of nowhere and just turn up and smash everybody and call it a day, right?
Yeah. Do you think they're going to go unbeaten and get all 3 titles, hold all 3 titles?
No, I think they'll lose in Americas, but they'll win the whole thing.
Okay, I'm going to say Brazil's going unbeaten.
Wow.
They'll get the 3. They'll
3 in a row.
Yeah, they'll win the 3rd Americas in a row, and I think they might overtake France into 2nd.
That's crazy.
I don't think France has it this. I don't think France has had it for a while, and I don't think they're getting it back this year.
So you think Brazil's winning the whole thing outright as well?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brazil. I'm going to go Brazil unbeaten this year.
Yeah. What to be France? Watch France win it now.
Watch France win it. Watch France win their 5th. Okay, well, dark horse picks. What you got?
Ooh, dark horse pick.
England.
No, God, no. No, let's not take
sod
that
it. No, sod it. I'm picking England.
Okay, I love the optimism. The Lionesses won a few weeks ago when we were recording. So yeah, fair enough. I love the optimism.
I'm picking England to go back to back and to make it to at least the round of 16 in the finals.
Love that. Okay.
Watch them go out on penalties in the first round.
Yeah, that'll be very typical.
That's what's going to happen.
Dark horse pick for me is going to be quite like a bit of Senegal.
Ooh, okay.
I like a bit. They've been on a bit of a good run lately. And they're due a further run in the finals. So yeah, Senegal for me.
Are you seeing potentially for them to overtake Cameroon fully and win their 6th African title, or do you think they're going to have a just good run in the final?
I think they get to the semi-finals in the Global Trophy. So that's my prediction.
Ah, fair enough. So, well, those are our teams. Those are our top 30. Of course, we also have our preliminary qualifiers, which will take up the first 4 weeks of the Global Trophy 2026 proper, followed by 4 continental qualifiers, and then, of course, our final in 2 months' time. So next week, we will be kicking off with the European Preliminary League. And, well, it's interesting, I guess, because there's a team technically making their debut in the preliminaries, but they're a dud.
Oh.
But it's nice to... it'd be nice to see... It's Kosovo, by the way. It'd be nice to see Kosovo. Yeah.
Kosovo, like Kosovo.
Kosovo are they're finally there, but yeah, they're the dud. They didn't do enough in the FIFA rankings, unfortunately. But at least they're there. It's their debut, I guess.
Yeah.
Good for them. But of course, when it comes to that will be in the next. Well, that'll be next week. So yeah, we're done with the intro. The Global Trophy starts next week for 9 weeks of football. Oh, I'm looking forward to this one. It's
gonna be good.
It's always gonna be this time of the year. It's always great when it comes to the Global Trophy. There's always a shark or something nuts, or we find a new bit we can add in that makes it funny. I don't know. Depends. What we'll cook up this year.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look. We'll have a little see.
See where the wind takes us. Anyway, that is it from the intro for the Global Trophy 2026. I've been Masterath.
I've been Samuel64.
And we'll see you next week for the European Preliminary League. The road starts here. We'll see you then.